Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Uche Kennedy, and in today's video I will be taking you guys on my chess journey from 0 to 2000. You guys, I've been playing chess for the past 2 years and 10 months at the time I'm recording this video. So it's been 2 years and 10 months and I finally hit 2000, and I will take you guys through that journey. I have broken down this video into 3 parts, from 0 to 1000, from 1000 to about 1800, and finally from 1800 to 2000. So you can actually skip to whichever part of the video you might be interested in. I'm going to be sharing with you what I did along each of those rating brackets, and which of them I found the most interesting, maybe the most difficult. I will review that at the end as well. It would be nice if you could watch the video from the beginning to the end, but you can skip around and depending on what you like. If you're new to the channel, please remember to like the video. Please remember to subscribe. We're a growing channel, and your thumbs up, your subscription is going to help us go a really long way. Without further ado, let's jump right into the video. All right, this is the first part I'm going to be showing you guys, and if I searched correctly, this is the very first game of chess I played on chess.com. So my friend introduced me to chess in December of 2021. I think the pandemic was still going on at the time. In December of 2021, my friend introduced me to chess. He made me open an account on chess.com, and he would play the very first few games with me, and he would beat me for I would lose at least 19 games before I would finally get one win, and then I would go on to lose even more. When we are done with this video, I'm going to show you guys a little bit of what my analytics look like on chess.com to give you a clearer picture of what I'm talking about. So here, he played e4, I went e5, because he kind of taught me how the pieces move, right? He told me that the knights move in L shape, the bishops move along the diagonal, you are supposed to develop, and then you're supposed to castle. So let's see what I did. He developed his bishop here. He was already rated 700 at the time. I think when I started out, chess.com gave me 600 or something of that nature, I don't know. I developed my knight. I did not know that this was called Berlin's defense or that this was called Bishop's opening. I knew nothing about the names of the opening. I was just making moves. I grabbed a pawn. Now, this is supposed to be a bad move, but we all kept developing. I took the pawn and I moved my bishop here. He put his queen on this square, and I mean, you can ask me what that means, but I don't know what the move basically means. I sacked the knight. Or I guess I was attacking his rook. I don't know why I put my knight here, but I put my knight here and he took it. And then I developed my queen. He moved his knight out of the way. Clearly the bishop is attacking my queen. I moved my queen. I was doing good. I was able to see that attack on my queen. But I did not castle. But at the end of when I show you guys a few games here, I'm going to tell you what you need to focus on doing if you're rated between 0 and 1000, and if you want to become above 1000. Because I ignored all the threats. He's attacking my knight, classic 500. In fact, I was even worse than 500 at this point. My knight is hanging and he took my knight. He was just taking all my pieces. Look at that. My queen is gone. I lost my queen. I took the bishop. I attacked his knight. He jumped in with his queen. First of all, he hung the queen. I took the knight. He sacked the queen. So you can see that we are both playing like lunatics, right? My rook is hanging. He did not take it. I withdrew my bishop. He did not see it. I moved my bishop. I took that rook. You see, somehow there is ingenuity to it. I lost the bishop there. At the end of the day, he was playing better than I was. He sacked his knight, and I took a piece. The game was just chaotic. Look at this. He took all my pieces. He sacked. Look at this. I could have taken. But then, although if I took, though, he would have made a queen. It wouldn't matter, but I didn't take. And then he took my bishop, and then he made a queen, and he checkmated me. And this was my very first game of chess. Now I'm actually eager to know what the game review looks like. What level did I played like a 250, and he played like a 650. I know you guys can't see that. And then I went on to play more games. I would lose a lot of rating, of course. This was my first bullet game. I still played against my friend. You will notice I kept playing the same way, right? He would bring out his bishop. he was playing the same thing black and white because he had just learned how to play chess, and then he was dragging me into this with him. I took that pawn, by the way, with my bishop, right? Classic, beautiful stuff. And we just kept playing like that. He sacked his knight. I could have taken the knight. For some reason I did not. The knight is hanging, the bishop is hanging. I moved out of the way. Okay, now he jumps in with the knight. He's hitting my rook. I can take the bishop. I took the knight and lost my queen. This is just crazy. And then he put his bishop here. And I think this was my very first win ever. Because all the rapid games I played against him, about 19 rapid games, I lost all of them. And then we played this 1+1 bullet game, and I won simply because he ran out of time somehow. I have 7 seconds, and I think he was already down to 1 second, and he lost on time here. So my very first win in chess was actually in a bullet game versus my friend. And yeah, basically that's what it is. All right. We would go on to play a lot of games. I would continue to lose. And eventually, you guys, I lost all the elo that chess.com gave me at the beginning. And I was rated 140. I think there is a game where I was actually rated 107 or 105. I could not find that game. But there was a time when I was rated 140. At this point, I was playing exactly. You'd see me copy my friend because this is what he always plays. And I would always put the knight there. So he did the same thing. So clearly I was behaving just like my teacher. And look at this position. Okay, I castled, right? I gave a check. He blocked with his pawn. I could have retreated my bishop, but I just ignored it. I lost the bishop. Look at this. He pushed his pawn. I took. By the way, my bishop is trapped now. But I blundered my queen. So this is how chess looks like at 100 level, at 500 level, whatever. This was the kind of chess I was playing. Again, I developed my knight while blundering the other knight. And this was just fantastic stuff. I gave a check. He took my knight. I did not take his knight back. I just ignored the knight. And now I finally took it. Now the bishop is gone. I brought the other rook. I sacked this rook because why not, right? And then from here, he just checked me until he checkmated me again. So I was playing really badly out of the openings. You would notice that I was not following any opening principles, and I'm going to share all these opening principles with you guys. I did not castle I castled my king technically. I developed my pieces, but I did not know how to properly develop them. I was sacking pieces all over the place. I was losing my queen, and it was just disaster all over the place. This was what 0 to 1,000 looked like for me. There were a number of things that I was trying when I was 0 to 1,000. My friend showed me or introduced me to Gotham Chess and Hikaru. Well, Gotham Chess for the most part, and then I found Hikaru while I was watching Gotham Chess. I think I saw some videos like where they played 4-player chess, where they did some collab, where they wore this green eye cover to play against some people, something like this. I saw a lot of Hikaru and Gotham Chess videos at the time, and I watched a lot of Hikaru and Gotham Chess videos. I did not successfully execute most of the things that Levy would teach in his opening videos. Forgive me, Levy, if you ever see this video. But I watched the opening videos anyway. I just didn't ever implement any of the things that he taught in the videos. I would try, but my opponent would play something else unlike move 2. And then I would be confused, and I would just blunder, and I would throw away the game. And my friend was a practical example. I played hundreds of games against him, and when you look at our score head-to-head score on chess.com, you can see what I'm talking about. Anyway, I began, from this point out, I started experimenting with different openings. I tried playing the Catalan. I don't know if this game is a Catalan. The Catalan, the King's Indian. I even attempted to play the Sicilian. I started learning about all these different openings. I would see Gotham do videos on different openings. The Catalan, the Sicilian. I even tried playing the Birds opening when I was at this level. So look here. This was a game in the Sicilian. I was literally rated 105. This is the game I was talking about. At 105, I was playing the Sicilian. Whatever this variation was, I don't know. This is, I guess, the blunder variation. And I had my pieces hanging all over the place. Tell me what my both bishops are doing. And this is just disaster. Disaster. I lost every piece and I got checkmated in the corner of the board. GG. And he mated me, right? But I was playing different openings. That's the point, right? I was trying my hands out on different openings. Eventually, I would gain some rating. I would improve thanks to Hikaru's videos, thanks to Gotham Chess's videos. I would say that if you're 0 to 1,000, I think that I found those Gotham Chess videos very, very helpful. I did not understand many of what Hikaru was doing. Of course, he's a grandmaster. I would watch him play. I would just open my mouth like, wow. He was so good. He was beating everybody. And that was very impressive for me, at least. I wanted to be like that one day, if you know what I mean. We can dream, right? I was dreaming that I would be like that one day. And that brings me to what my games looked like from 0 to 1,000, right? Up till this point where I was rated about 900. I think I was beginning to play better chess. I was beginning to see more tactics. I think this was a game in the King's Indian. This is when I started experimenting with I thought this was King's Indian, but apparently it's the modern. But somehow I transposed to the King's Indian. I was learning new openings, trying these new openings. Now, what did I do to improve my rating? How did I get to improve my rating as I played more and more games? The first thing is that if you're 0 to 1,000, you want to learn basic opening principles. If you're 0 to 1,000, you have to develop your king. You have to be able to develop your king. Wow. You have to be able to develop your pieces quickly, control the center with pawns. So you basically want to be able to put a pawn in the center of the board if possible. You want to quickly develop your pieces. Whatever, right? Why did I just do that? Quickly develop your pieces, right? And castle the king out of the center. Quickly develop your pieces, castle the king out of the center. If you're able to reach this position at 1,000 level or 500, 600 level, you are already doing very well. I did not know how to play like this consistently when I was rated like 500, 600, 700. I was not developing my pieces properly. I never had a coach. I just watched stuff on YouTube. And sometimes I watch those things. When I open chess.com, I don't even practice any of the things they teach me. But you want to learn basic opening principles, develop your pieces, castle early, control the center with some pawns, have a pawn. If your opponent allows you, have 2 pawns in the center. And this is how you want to play. The second thing you want to do is to learn basic checkmating patterns. You want to learn basic checkmating patterns. Simple checkmating patterns like the ladder checkmate with 2 rooks, a rook and queen, for example. You want to be able to learn those kind of checkmates. You want to learn mate in 1 pattern, mate in 2. Those are kind of things you can see. There are a lot of positions where I was hanging mate, my friend was not seeing it, he was hanging mate, I was not seeing it. A lot of tricky things like that, right? But you want to learn those basic things, basic checkmates. You don't need to learn how to checkmate with a knight and a bishop. You don't need to learn how to checkmate with 2 bishops, but you need to know how to at least do the ladder checkmate, how to mate with a queen and a king, how to mate with a rook and a queen. I will put an app that actually helped me learn some basic checkmates, but there are all those patterns in the puzzles on chess.com. Some persons use Lichess. If you use Lichess, then fine. I think Lichess also has puzzles and all of those kind of things that will help you as well. The third thing is that you want to stop hanging pieces. Stop hanging pieces. Look at my games. What was I doing? I was hanging pieces. Hanging pieces. What the heck is this? Don't play like this. Don't hang your piece like me. If you stop hanging pieces between 0 to 1,000, and I'm dead serious about this, between 0 to 1,000, if you stop hanging your pieces, you will perform better than most persons at your level, at this rating level, I promise you. If you stop hanging your pieces between 0 to 1,000, you will already improve your rating significantly because your opponent will hang their piece. So I like to tell my viewers on Twitch, stop hanging your pieces, and when they hang their pieces, make sure that you are grateful and collect it. Do not reject gifts. Your opponents will be gifting you bishops and knights and queens and rooks. be grateful, be nice, be polite, and receive their gifts, right? So when people blunder against you, you need to be able to see the blunder and you need to be able to take the piece. Take it, accept the sacrifice they've given you, and you will be happy most of the time. Okay? That is that. And the fourth thing is to practice tactical patterns. You need to be able to see tactics. I was very tactically aloof. I knew nothing about tactics. If you look at my games, you will know. I was not doing nothing. But eventually, I started doing puzzles on chess.com. My friend made me get a membership on chess.com so I could do more and more puzzles. Usually, if you don't have membership, you can't do above a certain number of puzzles in a day, something like that. But I know Lead Chess is completely free. There are a lot of puzzles on Lead Chess as well you can do. But if you're on chess.com and you have a membership, you will enjoy the site even better. Do puzzles, lots and lots of puzzles. At some point, I was doing puzzles that were specific to the openings I was playing. Specific puzzles to the opening you were playing. So when I was trying out the Aliakan's defense, for example, I was doing puzzles specific to Aliakan's defense, right? There are puzzles that are thematic in the Queen's Gambit, for example. I was doing all those type of puzzles. You want to do that. And finally, you want to be patient. You want to be patient. Don't rush. I don't know how many seconds I was spending on. I thought I was a patient player. I don't know how many seconds I was moving in seconds. If you look at the time here, you'd notice I was making bad moves within seconds. 4 seconds, I made this move. I was taking 5 seconds, instant moves. Look at this. In fact, here I even spent 20 seconds. But look at what I came up with, right? So you want to be patient, take it slowly, think about the position before you make a move. If you can do that, I think you'll perform very, very well, actually. Like, you will actually perform very, very well. And that is that for part 1, 0 to 1,000. Next, I'll show you what it was like from 1,000 to 1,800. All right. In part 2, we are going to look at my journey from 1,000 to 1,800. Okay? From 1,000 to 1,800. I would hit 1,000 in March of 2022. So I started playing in December of 2021 and I was rated around 100 as at January of 2022. So between December of 2021 or January of December of 2021, January of 2022, I was around 100 and then I kept playing, kept improving, and as of March of 2022, I would hit a 1,000 rating in Rapid. And by this time, you would notice that I had started playing more reasonable openings. So you can see I'm playing more standard Queen's Gambit declined openings here. I'm happy with myself playing like this. I'm actually really happy with how I played. Look at this. I already have a good position out of the opening. And I think I learned part of this from a Gotham video. Not exactly like this, I'm sure. Gotham, don't kill me. But I'm like the first moves of the opening, I'm sure I learned all of this watching Gotham Chess. So that was nice. And I also watched, I think I watched something about this Queen's Indian-like line from St. Louis Chess Club YouTube channel. I think I learned some of these things from there as well. But of course, everything has gone a wall at this point. I kept trying to develop. Look at this. He blundered that rook. I did not take it in one go. First of all, I came here and then I finally saw it. I went back, he grabbed my bishop and he got checkmated. So at this point, I was actually seeing my opponent's mistake. You would notice that technically, okay, he could have taken my knight, but I knew I was going to take his own knight with check and maybe the bishop, his own pieces were hanging, so I did not mind losing a piece here. But at the same time, I was also able to spot that my queen is defended by my knight and this is going to be checkmate, right? So this is how much progress I had made from hanging all my pieces to at least now I can find checkmate. Now I can see a hanging piece and I can take it and all of those kind of things. I was beginning to get better, so to speak. Around 1,000 to around 1,100, I had to choose an opening that would be good for me. you see, when I was rated less than 1,000, I was experimenting. I was trying the beds opening. I was trying Aliakan's defense. I was trying a lot of openings. But at a point, I knew, okay, I want to choose an opening that makes sense, an opening I am going to be playing. And I had a few criteria on how I would choose this opening. What I had in mind was that this opening has to be an opening that not everybody played. And number two, it has to be an opening that allowed me avoid most of the gambits I faced all the time. And because many times when I play e4, if you look at my account, I mean, at this point, all of you can basically look at my account on chess.com. If you look at my account, you would notice that I almost never play e4, e5. Like, almost never play e4, e5. And this was because I was scared when I was less than 1,000. People would play hundreds of gambits, Vienna gambit, Scotch gambit, a whole lot of different weird things were happening to me when I played e4, e5. And so I was so scared, I started looking for alternatives to e4, e5. I wanted to play openings that did not have e4, e5 so that I don't run into all of those things. And in addition, when I watched Hikaru most of the time, he did not necessarily always play e4, e5. Sometimes he would play the Reti, he would play the Nimzo-Lassen opening. So I was like, I actually like these openings. I wasn't hearing much about a lot of gambits, and I thought those made sense. So by the time I got to 1,000, 1,100, I had settled on a few openings I am going to play. I decided that against e4 from my opponent with white, I will be playing the Aliakan's defense. Now, when you think of the Aliakan's defense, not a lot of people around 1,000 play the Aliakan's defense, or at least know how to play the Aliakan's defense. I would solve a lot of tactics in the Aliakan's defense, specific Aliakan tactics. I watched a lot of YouTube videos on the Aliakan's defense. Shout out to Hanging Pawns. I watched some videos from Hanging Pawns and some other channels as well. But I chose the Aliakan's defense against e4, and against d4, I learned the Nimzo Indian defense. I watched this video from the St. Louis Chess Club. I think Gotham has a video on it as well. I watched a bunch of videos on Nimzo Indian defense to play against one d4, and when I had the white pieces, I am playing b3, the Nimzo-Lassen attack, all the time. These were the only 3 openings I ever played until I got to 2,000. Now, there were a few times when I would dabble into 1 or 2 things, but it's mostly experimental. I never thought of any of that as serious. I had a tutor at one point. My tutor, we didn't do a lot because I was very busy and eventually I had to stop. But we did some end games together. We did the London system. He taught me the London. I never played it against anybody really. And I think I played it against him. Maybe I played 1 game in the London, but it never caught on. I never continued with the London system. So my 3 opening choices were the Aliakan's defense, the Nimzo Indian defense, and the Nimzo-Lassen attack when I had the white pieces. And those 3 openings or defenses would propel me from 1,000 all the way to 1,800 and all the way to 2,000. Now, in March of 2022, I was telling you guys I hit 1,000 over here. I would continue playing, continue trying to make progress. And in, I think, January of 2023, if I remember correctly, I would hit 1,500 and 1,600 rapid. Like, it happened very fast. I would hit 1,500 and 1,600 rapid. I think this was it. Yeah, 1,600 rapid in January of 2023. And this was actually the game that got me to 1,600 rapid. You would notice that, like I said, at this point I have made up my mind. If my opponent plays e4, I'm playing the Aliakan's defense. And okay, I had to decide which way I'm going to take. At the beginning, I was unsure, for example, in this opening, how do I want to play it? Nowadays, if you see me play the Aliakan's defense, I almost always take with the c pawn. But when I was learning, I learned, okay, you can take this way or you can take this way. In that video, they were explaining it depends on what type of player you are. You're a tactical player, you want to play sharp or whatever. So then I would take this way. But nowadays, I don't do that anymore. The game would go on like that. We would trade. I would trade, develop my pieces. We trade. You would look at this. even at 1600, you would notice my opponent has blundered this bishop. On how many moves? I moved, he blundered the bishop here, I did not take it. He blundered it here, I did not take it. Until eventually he moved down the board. Again, he blundered that pawn. I can take the pawn. It doesn't matter. He can't really pin me here because there's a check. He moves his king and I'll just take the bishop, right? So, I'm missing basic things. And now he finally blundered his bishop, and of course my two pieces controlled this square and he resigned the game. But you would notice that even at 1600 level, I was beginning to play much better. I was not hanging my pieces in any obvious manner or fashion, but I was still making a lot of tactical errors. This is not a good endgame for white, right? I'm already down a pawn. My opponent is blundering. Again, I am missing it. Like I told you, 0 to 1000, you have to see the gifts. When your opponents give you these gifts, you have to take them. But even at 1600 level, you need to also be able to see the gifts, right? Finally, I was able to see it. Of course, I was able to grab that bishop, control the b8 square, and my opponent resigned the game. In addition, he had only 15 seconds on the clock. So this was January of 2023. I hit 1600 rapid rating, and then I would keep playing, and it would be until October of 2023 that I would hit 1700 finally. In October of 2023, I would become 1700. Notice again, I am still playing the Alekhine defense. By this time, I had much more experience in the Alekhines. I knew all these type of mistakes my opponents were going to make. I was winning pawns all over the place. I castled out of the center. Look at my knights. He blundered his bishop. I moved out of the way. I took the pawn and I brought my queen into the game. My opponent would blunder that check. I was happy to take it. And of course, we trade, and now everything is peachy here. I don't know. I didn't think there was any way I was going to lose this game after this. Okay, and the game would go on for a few moves, but my opponent, we were down on time, and of course he would go on to lose this game. Okay, on time. But that's notwithstanding, I hit 1700. I think I hit 1700 bullets first. Now I'm going to tell you guys how I actually played. I would play one-time control for like a month, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I would just play one-time control. So I would play like bullets, a lot of bullets games. I would hit 1700 bullets. I would play a lot of blitz game. Maybe I would hit 1700 blitz. Then I would try to play a lot of rapid games. I was increasing my rating in each time control, one after the other. I would play bullets. When my bullet reaches a particular rating, I would go back and try to make my blitz come to that rating and whatever, right? So in October of 2023, I hit 1700. From that time, I would go up and down. And all of that. I would grind one-time control. I would do game reviews. I would try and learn something. I would learn something out of the opening, some tactical thing in the middle game, and all of that. So good job, Kennedy. 1700. I don't think I have the video, a clip of me getting to 1800. Anyway, there are a few things I would learn at this rating level from 1000 to 1800. From 1000 to 1800, there are a few things I'm going to say. Number one, you want to study opening theory. From 1000 to 1800, you want to study opening theory. But you don't want to overdo it, right? You don't want to overdo it. You want to spend, 10% of your time learning the theory of the opening you play. Learn like 10 moves of theory, 7 moves of theory, for example, right? At 1000 to 1800, 1700, I would say that is what I would focus on. You want to study opening theory, but you don't want to overdo it. The second thing is you want to develop tactical vision. You need to be able to see tactics when they appear on the board. When tactics appear on the board, you want to be able to see. Because at 1700, 1800, your opponents are better as well. You have to remember that it's not just you. Your opponents are getting better. They are beginning to see better. You can't just... For example, if you hang this knight, let's say you make a move like this. If you make this type of move at 600 level, your opponent may just develop his knight, and forget that you blundered a knight. If you make this mistake at 1700, your opponent will certainly capture your knight. That is very important, right? Mistakes are going to be punished more at these 1800 levels than initially at less than 1000. Above 1000, 1500, your opponents are better, they can see the board better, and they will punish your mistakes. You will no longer get away with them. So you need to develop your tactical vision. Don't hang your queen in 3 moves. What I notice is when you're 1800, you're not going to hang your queen in 1 move, but you probably hang your queen to a tactical sequence. Rook takes pawn, rook takes bishop, something, and then at the end of the line you notice that your queen is hanging, or you hang your queen to a discover check. I'm sure a lot of you have experienced that. Identify yourself in the comment section if you've hung your queen to a discover check. I have done that hundreds of times, and it's almost as if I don't learn, but I think I have learned at this point. So don't hang your pieces, develop tactical vision. The other thing is you want to work on your end games. I can't say this enough. Below 1000 and even 1000, 1001, 1002, most of your games won't go to end games, and if they go to end games, it's just going to be a mess, right? Somebody would have hung 3 of their pieces by the time you get to the end game, so there will be no end game. They'll probably resign, or they'll just play and it will be easy for you. Somebody must have hung their queen, their rook, their bishop. By the time you get to the end game, you're not really playing an end game. One person is just continuing to play when they should actually resign, right? But when you start getting to 1800, your opponents are going to play better. Somebody may be up a pawn, up 2 pawns, but the game would go to an end game most of the time, right? Except something catastrophic happens and one person blunders massively, which doesn't tend to happen all the time. So at 1700, 1800 levels, a lot of your games will start going to end games. You want to learn king and pawn end games, king and queen end game, king and rook end games. More of the heavy pieces end games, because most of the games would be rooks on the board, queen on the board, those kind of end games. You can go from being up 2 pawns in a queen end game to completely losing the game because you don't know what to do with your queen. You're just moving up and down the board without purpose, right? So work on end games. The fourth thing is that you want to improve your positional understanding. Now, I hear a lot about some people being tactical players, some people being positional players. I think I am a little bit of a positional player, but I think I am also very tactically alert. My tactics have actually improved significantly over the years. But you want to learn positional play, positional maneuvering. What square does your knight belong? What square does do you want to just push your pawns? The consequence of pushing pawns. One of the things I learned from Magnus, I think I watched somebody talk about it, but it should be from Magnus, was that you don't push your pawns unless you absolutely have to, right? It's something I need to still learn, I'm still working on, but that's something you want to bear in mind. Positional play would be very useful. 5, you need to analyze your own games. You need to analyze your own games. I don't know how analysis works on chess. I don't play a lot of games on chess, but on chess.com I love it. But unfortunately, you can only analyze 1 game a day if you're on the free plan. But if you can afford the membership, that would be great. If you cannot afford the membership, then maybe you should take your games to chess or play on chess, or yeah, you can copy your PGN and take it to somewhere and analyze your games. But it's important you analyze your game, especially the longer games, blitz, rapid games. You want to analyze it. If you can analyze those games, you will learn something in the opening, even if it's 1 thing at a time. If you learn to correct 1 mistake in the opening, 1 mistake in the middle game, here and there, that will significantly improve your performance and help you improve your rating as well. The number 6 thing you want to do is to play longer games. You guys, I am guilty of this, and you are going to see it when I show you my analytics. I have played almost 40,000 bullet games on chess.com. 40,000. And I have only played 7,000 rapid games or 7,000 blitz games, I think, and maybe 1,000 something rapid games. I don't know if that is correct. Yeah, something like that. I'll show you guys when we get there. Don't be like me. Please play longer time controls. I get bored of playing rapid even blitz sometimes, I would just play in bullet. Bullet is nice. The other reason I was playing a lot of bullet was that the loss of bullet is not very painful. When you lose a bullet game, you just move on to the next game. You lose again. I can lose 20 bullet games in a row and I don't feel upset. But if I lose one rapid game, I feel the pain in my chest. That's why I don't play a lot of rapid games. But you should actually play longer time controls. Recently, I played a lot of bullets. I got to 2,000 bullets first on the 27th of September. I will show you guys that. I got to 2,000 first on the 27th of September on bullets. And then my followers on Twitch were saying, you should play Blitz, time to grind Blitz. And then I was so scared, but I played Blitz. I got to 2,000. And then it was time to grind Rapid. And I was like, oh my God, Rapid is so scary. But I did play Rapid and I did get to 2,000 on Rapid. And now I'm wishing I actually played more Rapid games in the past or more Blitz games as opposed to just bullets in my life. Anyway, so please play longer time controls. You want to learn to manage your time, you guys. You need to learn time management. You don't want to rush. I have made a lot of mistakes because I did not think. I was just blitzing. And again, because I was playing too many bullet games, I will make some moves as if I'm playing bullet. Last year, I was in Venezuela for the Alba games, the 5th Alba games, and I made mistakes like that. I would have 1 hour for a classical game. My game will be done in 30 minutes, 20 minutes. And I lost, of course, I lost. So you don't want to rush. You want to take your time, try to make good moves, try to find the correct moves. If you can do this, you're patient, you will do very well. Don't rush, but of course, also don't get low on time. Remember, people at 1800 level, 1800, 1700 level are actually very tactically aware. They are better at chess. If you get low on time, they will take advantage of you. Okay, let's jump right to the last part, going from 1800 to 2000. All right, 1800 to 2000. I hit 1800 Blitz rating, I think in August of 2023, and I was just playing lots of games. And then in December of 2023, I would hit 1800 Bullet. And since then, I have played a lot of games. Since the beginning of the year, I have played hundreds of games, thousands of games. In May of 2024, this year, I actually hit 1900. And this was around the time I started streaming on Twitch. I was 1900 when I started streaming on Twitch. Initially, I used to criticize myself a little bit. My friend used to encourage me to stream, but I'm like, why am I streaming? Who wants to watch me play nonsense? But when I got to around 1900, I felt like, okay, I'm playing some level of decent chess that maybe somebody can actually watch me play. So that also encouraged me or helped me gain the confidence to get on Twitch and begin streaming. And boy, oh boy, will I tell you, my Twitch followers have been really instrumental in my progress. The good thing with my Twitch community is that they have watched me rise, they have watched me crash, they have watched me go up and down this rating ladder. I got to 1900 in May, I got to 1900 Bullet, 1900 Blitz, and I think I was 18 something Rapid. But while I was streaming, you have people watching you, they're going to say, keep going, and then you're going to crash to 1600. Sometimes I would lose all my rating points while I was streaming. I would come online and I'll say, okay, we are grinding back to 1900 today, and then by the time I'm done for the night, I'll be 1700. So a lot of up and downs have happened since May, and I always considered the story of Hikaru. I'll tell you guys this. I always considered the story of Hikaru. I always hear people say that when Hikaru started streaming, now I did not know Hikaru, anything about chess, let alone Hikaru, for all my life, of course, until 2021. But I would learn eventually that when Hikaru started streaming, that he became better both, I guess, psychologically, better in his play. Somehow, the story is always that Hikaru is a better chess player. Maybe partly because of his streaming, and he himself has also attributed some of his successes on his games to his mental shift as he started streaming and all of these kind of things. So I was thinking to myself, maybe if I start streaming, the pressure both the pressure and the relaxation of playing in front of people that are cheering for you or people that want to see you do well would make me focus more, would make me try to play better chess, or something of that case, right? I was thinking maybe I'll be more scared of losing in front of so many people, and that will force me to be careful enough to not make stupid mistakes. But whatever the case was, I got streaming, I got playing a lot of games. My bullet rating would increase to about 1995, and then I would lose a ton of rating, go back to 1800, struggle again from 1800 back to 1900, you guys. And on the last stream, I think it was on the 26th of September, just basically last week, I was streaming and I decided to grind bullet to 1900, but instead of getting to 1900, I grinded back to almost 1700. I think I was like 1805 or something of this nature. And I was upset, of course. I ended the stream for the night and I went to sleep. I woke up the next morning. I baited, walked out, baited, ate, and I sat down at this desk and I felt inspired to play some bullet games. I would grind bullets that morning until afternoon. And to my greatest surprise, I was not live on stream, so I don't have the video for that. But I'm going to give you the video for reaching 2000 blitz and rapid for sure. Somehow that day, I was able to hit 2000 bullet rating. Somehow, I was able to grind over 100, almost 200 rating points. I won a bunch of games. I lost one or two here and there. But I was so honed in. I told myself, Kennedy, enough is enough. You better push yourself and get to 2000. And on the 27th of September, I pushed and pushed and pushed, and I hit 2000. I sent a message to the Discord group. I said, you guys, guess what? I am 2000 right now. And it was crazy. Oh my God, they couldn't believe it. So I think somebody said this is not the Kennedy I used to know. But I played incredible chess. I was very proud of my performance that day. Anyway, 30th of September, 3 days later, while I was live streaming, at this point, my blitz rating was at 1971, I think. I had played blitz that day, and I got my blitz rating to 1971. I was feeling pumped, but I was scared at the same time. And I came on stream, and I had this follower of mine, Julian. And Julian was like, mathematical Julian is his name. But Julian was like, Kennedy, I think you should play some blitz games. I think this is the day when you reach 2000 blitz. I was like, oh my God. You know how this goes. You go to 1990 something, and then they kick you back to 1800. So I was thinking, no, I'm not going to play. And eventually, he kept typing in the chat, play. And you guys, I decided to play. I played the first game. I played the second game. I played a ton of games. I got to 1980 something, 1995, I think. I lost a game, went back to 1984, played the next game, won, came back to 1994, 95, I think. Back and forth until eventually I played that last game. I think one or other follower, Revengers, came into the chat. I had already made up my mind. I'm not playing anymore. I'm just going to leave it at 1995. But Revengers came and decided, Kennedy, I think you should actually play. Just play. They kept pushing me to play. And you guys, I played the last game. And I won that game. And I became 2000. Take a look. All right, let's do it. I'm going to play a game. I'm up a pawn here, right? Can't I go here? up a piece. Wait, I'm up a piece. How? Oh shit. You guys, wait, I don't want to mess this up here. I can't mess this up. I can't mess this up. Wait, I can't mess this up. If I trade the bishop off, I think I'm good. Yes, I think I'm good now. Yes. You guys, this might be the game. This might be the game. This might be the game. Yes, I can take the bishop, because if he takes my bishop, he gets fucked. Oh my god. Oh my god. This is the game. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the game. Yes. 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 Yes, baby. Oh my god. Great. On reaching 2,000, you guys, I fell in love with my followers. And I mean it. Like, I appreciated my followers that day in a way I had never done before. Like, I was so grateful to them for pushing me to play all those games. I just told them, you guys, I love you so much. Okay, but that was one. Now, on October the 2nd, I think it was 2 days ago, I was live again on stream. Well, before I went live, I was playing some rapid games. I decided Bullet is now 2,000, Blitz is now 2,000. What is left? Rapid. Rapid was 1940. I lost a few games. I became 1920 something. I said, no, I am not going to lose my mind and go back to 1800 rapid. So I zoned in. I woke up the next day. I now know my routine. Wake up in the morning, exercise. Make sure you exercise, bathe, eat, sit on the table, and you will play good chess. This is what I have noticed for myself. I think it is true for most of you. Let me know in the comments if this is your case. But I played a bunch of games that day. I got to around 1940. I played some incredible games. But while I was live on Twitch again, they asked me, Kennedy, play some games, play some games. I had one more game to make it to 2,000. One more game. Ladies and gentlemen, I played a game that night. I won a fantastic game. Okay, but hold on. If I go here and he grabs the thingy, I can just push, right? And now this bishop holds these 2 pawns. For now, the knight. Wait, what? Let's go here maybe. Okay, and now I'm also up on the clock, so that should be helpful. I'm assuming that will be helpful. So I can go here and ask him what he wants to do with his queen. I'll go here, offer the queen trade. What? What? Yes! I am 2,000 rapid. You guys, I'm calling Chitembo. I'm calling Chitembo. I'm calling Chitembo. You guys, I'm calling Chitembo. Andrew, I am 2,000 happy. 2,000 happy! Yeah! Andrew, I'm 2,000 happy, 2,000 blitz, 2,000 bullets, live on stream. And I officially became rated 2,000 rapid. And with that, I had become 3 for 3. 2,000 bullets, 2,000 blitz, 2,000 rapid. Now, before I close out this video, I'm going to share with you a few things that I think are instrumental if you want to get to 2,000. When you get to 1,800, 1,900, and you're trying to push to 2,000, one of the things you want to do is to deepen your opening repertoire. By the time I was making this push for 2,000, I had started studying openings. Some of you that have been watching my channel, you would see the video where I studied 30 moves of theory. I posted a video on opening theory where I basically played the Sicilian defense. And this is an example of learning openings, right? Learning openings, I think that's and that and that and that and that. Basically 30 moves of theory I studied in this line. The point is that you want to deepen your opening repertoire around 1,800. By the time you are 1,800, 1,900, pushing for 2,000, you will need to know more moves in whatever opening it is that you play. If I flip this board here, for example, I play the 1b3, right? I play 1b3, for example. There are many moves that my opponents can choose from, a lot of moves that my opponent can choose from, but it is up to me to know just beyond this opening phase. Okay, I know they're supposed to play, I'm going to castle, they will play. I'm supposed to know moves, 10, 15 moves deep into the opening. Improve my knowledge of the opening, increase the number of lines I know. Do I want to go for the immediate knight e5? Do I want to go h4? Do I want to slow play with d3? Do I want to go d4? Where do I want to put this knight? Stuff like this. You know what to do at different junctures of the opening. You want to improve your opening repertoire, right? Learn multiple lines with white and black. Black does not have to play like this, right? You have to also realize that black does not have to play like this. This game could go a completely different way. Your opponent can decide to go crazy. It could be a completely different game. Are you going to be better or worse in each of these positions? Are you giving black too much center? Do you know what to do from different positions, right? So you want to deepen your opening repertoire. The other thing is that you want to learn the middle game. So once you have come out of the opening, let's say, I don't know, black makes a move, you castle. I'm not trying to do anything here. I don't know, maybe you strike in the center, black decides to castle, takes. Okay, let's assume that somehow you reach, this is a bad position, by the way. Black is just too much middle, too much central control. But let's say you play and you reach a position like this one. Now, do you know the plans for the middle game? You start understanding some middle game plans, middle game structures, and all of those things. The third thing you want to be able to do is to refine your positional understanding. If I take this knight, for example, this would not be a wise decision, right? I've given black the whole center. Black has the bishop pair. All the advantage is in black's favor here. So when do you have strong versus weak minor pieces? For example, say I go here and my opponent does this. When he gives me that bishop was a strong piece, right? That bishop was a good piece. Now, even though black has central control here, I have the bishop pair. I can try to do something with the bishop pair. Positional understanding. You understand strong versus weak minor pieces. You understand when a knight on an outpost is probably better than a rook, for example. You understand pawn breaks, how to use open files, how to manage or deal with space advantage or disadvantage, and how to make some positional sacrifices. I will tell you guys something that happened to me in our national, I think it was a national championship we were playing. no, or a casual game with my chess federation. I had a position, I had played the Sicilian knight off, and I reached this position where I was supposed to sack the rook for the knight on this square. I think it was with colors reversed. It was with colors reversed. I was supposed to, you remember, some of you would remember the standard rook sacrifice in the Sicilian on c3 there, sacking the rook for the knight to open up the king and get an attack on the white king. I got to that position and I was asking myself, should I sacrifice my rook? Oh my God, why should I sacrifice my rook? He's going to be up the exchange. I did not sacrifice my rook. I went on to lose that game. And my opponent was thinking I was going to sacrifice the rook. He was expecting me to sacrifice the rook because I had a much better position. I had a battery of rooks. I had my queen on this side of the board. I could have won that game if I had the courage to sack the rook. I did not sack the rook. I went on to lose that game. So you want to know when it is useful to make positional sacrifices. I may show you one or two examples where I actually sacrificed my rook and it was a brilliant move. I think I have it somewhere. I'm going to put it up on the screen so you guys can see. The other thing you want to be able to do is to master complex tactics and calculation. My coach, for a period of time last year when I had some time on my hands, my coach actually did some tactical training with me. He taught me, he would give me positions and he would have me analyze the positions and ask me what I think of the positions and all of those kind of things. You want to practice tactics. You want to practice some of those tactics. If you can do that, you will improve your play and you will definitely get much better. The number 5 thing you want to do at around 1800 to 2000 is that you have to hone your end game skills. I have lost and won a lot of games because I played better than my opponent in the end game. You're going to reach end games more often. Your opponents are no longer blundering their pieces anyhow. They are going to play very well. You will trade almost on equal terms. Once in a while you may get to an end game, up a pawn or even down a pawn. But if you're very good at your end games, you would be able to either win or hold a draw in some of those positions, right? You want to know your minor piece end games. You guys, I have a fantastic game that I played the other day, and we ended up with knight and bishops on the board. It was on stream. Knights and bishops on the board, and somehow I managed to outmaneuver my opponent and get a queen and win that game. You also have to, of course, know how to calculate pawn races. When is the king in the box and when is the king not in the box? Whose pawn is faster? All of those kind of ideas are things you want to pay attention to. King activity in the endgame becomes much more important when you start approaching the 2000s. And finally, you guys, you want to improve your decision making. You want to improve your decision making. You want to improve your mental toughness. So I have played games where I personally felt like my opponent gave up. I don't know if you've had such games. You can literally feel it. You feel like your opponent gave up. They got tired and they just threw the game away. I have had games like that. You don't want that to happen to you. You want to stay focused throughout the game, stay consistent, and don't make unnecessary mistakes just because you checked out of the game. When I was in Venezuela last year playing for St. Vincent, it was one of the problems I had. By the time the game got to 30 minutes, I'm already exhausted because I had never played a game so long before. You have to learn how to manage your time. And for some of you, if you're like me and you're playing for a country or you're representing your school or whatever, you want to start getting into tournament mindset. This is for me now, actually, not just you guys. This is something I'm thinking to myself. Recently, I have started thinking to myself, okay, I'm not just playing chess casually online anymore. I want to get into the era of becoming a tournament player, right? Beginning to train and prepare for tournaments. If I'm able to do this, then I would get good results when I eventually go out to represent SVG or to play in any of these tournaments that they're going to be holding around. I am incredibly happy to finally get to 2000. I will take you guys through some of my analytics. I'll take you to my profile on chess.com here. I'll take you into my chess.com account here. Whoa, that's a lot of space. I'll take you to my chess.com account here, and I'll take you through what my analytics look like. First of all, you can see my bullet is 2016, my rapid is 2002, My blitz is 2004, and I'll show you a little bit of analytics here. Some people on stream were asking me for the stats, so here you have it. I'm going to show you guys my stats. Now I'll get my face out of the way. Okay, so this is my bullet rating. Now look at this graph. You would see that my bullets kept going up and down. Even after I hit 1800, I would go close to 1900, I would drop below 1800, up and down, and then boom, it's more steady climb until I reach 2000. If you look at it in the last 30 days, look at this. In the last 30 days, it's been a little more consistent. I have not gone below 1800, but look, I went as high as 1921, crashed to 1816, went up to 1970 here, and then 1882, and then from here I did not look back. I cruised. You see, this is all on the 20th, 21st, 23rd, 25th. I did nothing, and then on the 27th was the day I just came and decided to pull my weight to 2000. So that is bullet. Now look at this. I have played a total of about, let me see if I can do this for all time. The total number of games I have played, look at this, 38,000 bullet games so far. I forgot what the number of games Hikaru had played was now. I don't know who has. I think Hikaru still has a higher number of games, of course, I think. But I have played 38,000 bullet games with 49% win rate, 46% loss, and a 5% draw in most of these lines. Okay, I'm going to see Blitz. Look at that. Compare that to the number of Blitz games I have played. I have played about 7,000, almost 8,000 Blitz games. You'll notice that the graph for Blitz is more stable, even if I convert it to the last 90 days. Look at the last 90 days. I basically rose very quickly to 1800. But because I don't play a lot of Blitz games, I first played Bullet until my Bullet got to 1900. Meaning that when I went back to play Blitz, it was very easy. You see, my Blitz was at 1800. I did not really play lots of games. I did not tilt out of my mind. I maintained it at 1800, 1900. I dropped a little bit back to 1800, but then I made the push, got to 1900 and to 2000. In the last 30 days, look at that. So 1861, 1945, 1912. I crashed to 1826, but then I did not go down again until I got to 2000 Blitz. Once again, I have played only 7,000 Blitz games compared to 38,000 Bullet games. Somehow, maybe I should have played more Blitz games instead of Bullet games. I don't know. But in the last 30 days, I have gained 143 points. In the last 90 days, 149. So that is interesting to see. Then we look at Rapid. This is laughable because when you look at Rapid, I have played literally less than 2,000 Rapid games. Again, like I told you guys, majority of these Rapid games were actually in the beginning of me playing chess, where I lost hundreds of games to my friend. Other than that, I did not play a lot of Rapid games. If you look at the last 90 days, I have only played 56 Rapid games in the last 3 months. Only 56 Rapid games. In the last 30 days, I have played only 18 Rapid games. But notice something. The fewer games I have played, the better my win rate, right? My Rapid has higher win rate than my Blitz and my Bullet. And this is simply because I first grind out one-time control, right? I play Rapid I play Bullet rather, until I get to like 1900 Bullet. Now, when I go back to Rapid, I'm 1600. I'm stronger than the 1600s. So I win a lot of games and I get to 1800 and stuff like that, right? So that was my method. I play one time control for a long time and then I try another time control like that. But to get to 2000, I got to 2000 across all time controls within a period of 1 week, okay? Which is something I'm very, very happy about. All right, you guys, that is that for this video. Again, if you're new to the channel, please leave a follow. I would really appreciate it. Leave a subscribe rather. I would really appreciate it. If you liked this video, if you found it helpful, please give me a thumbs up. It will help the algorithm push our videos. And if you have any questions at all about anything related to chess, feel free to leave it in the comments below. If you want to catch me live, feel free to click on the link below, join us on Twitch, and I will see you guys very, very soon. You can check out this video over here. It will help you improve your chess for sure. Until next time, you guys, I'll catch you guys soon. Bye-bye.